Okay, good afternoon po, Group 3. Good afternoon po, teachers. And
Good afternoon,
let's have,
ma'am.
yes po, good afternoon po, sir. Good afternoon, mga ma'am. So let's have,
Afternoon, everyone.
good afternoon, ma'am. Let us have our discussion and sharing of insights about the 5E's and 7E's model of teaching in science. And to be presented by our group, which is Group 3. So, 5E's and the 7E's model, which is one of the key components or one of the major teaching model that we are currently using in science subject. So let's discuss first the 5E's model of teaching in science. So basically, I know you're very familiar with this. In 5E's, we have our learning cycle. Starts with engage, explore, explain, elaborate, then evaluate. Important proponents describe this as a learning process or a guided discovery approach wherein it entails and it emphasis or it emphasizes on giving or deepening the ideas that we could be able to achieve aligned with the given objectives in the science subject. So the main proponents of the 5E's were Myron Atkins and Robert Karplus in 1962, wherein they have these learning 5E's conceived as guided discovery, wherein it is also modified in the later 1967 by their and Karplus, which is known as Karplus their model. Okay, so about the 5E's, we have here the five components. Now, first is the engage, where it measures and it counts, and through comparing questions. Then it also answered in the explore part or the explore phase, the how many, how long, in how many ways. Now, the critical thinking question, we give them through explore phase. And then in the explain part, that's the time that we are going to have the activity and also the discussion part of the lesson. Then elaborate what happens if, can you find a way to, now it's a part of deepening the component or the idea that we're going to formulate throughout the discussion. And the evaluate is the action and problem solving questions, which also include the application part. So in the engage phase, it says here that activity focuses on students' attention, stimulate their thinking, and access prior knowledge, wherein engage is visible through different activities or through different learning strategies, through demonstration, reading, free writing, also giving them graphic organizer, and the common is the KWL, the know already, want to know, and the learned part. And then it also merged with the elicit part. Okay, we access the prior knowledge of the learners or the students, and also through brainstorming. So we ask students questions like this: why did this happen? What do I already know about this? What have I found about this? And shows interest in the topic. And then the next phase after they engage, we have this explore, wherein it gives the students time to think. Now, from the first phase, they have to investigate, they have to test, they have to make decisions or solve problems and collect information through different activities. So you could be able uh, to to have the explore, or it is evident rather, through performing an investigation, reading authentic resources to collect information, or solve a problem or construct a model. Then the explain phase, wherein it is an activity, allows the students to analyze the exploration. Okay, so the one that that we gave on the latter phase. So I sorry, the previous phase rather. So the students' understanding is clarified and modified through reflective activities. So explain phase is evident through different learning strategies or learning methods or activities, like student analysis and explanation, giving supporting ideas with evidence, structured questioning, they have the guide questions, reading and discussion, then Also, the lecture part, or the teacher explains through the given guided questions, and then teaching thinking skill activities like to compare, classify, or detecting or identifying error or the error analysis. Then the elaborate phase, it expands and solidifies the critical thinking skills of the students, where it applies to the real world situation. Okay, so it does not only confide with the content, but on how do the learners apply it on their real situation. So, elaborate phase is evident through this following examples or activities. We have the problem solving, decision making, experimental inquiry, and also the thinking skill activities such as compare, classify, and apply. Then evaluate, which also merge with the extend part. It allows a teacher to assess performance or the understanding of the students, okay, with the concepts, skills, processes, and application. So we could have the evaluate, or it is evident through give any of the following previous activities, giving or providing a rubric or scoring tool based on the given experiment or group activity, performance assessment, giving a product or producing a product, journal entry, and portfolio. No, it merged with the extend part. So there are underlying examples of 5E's, particularly when we're going to discuss the earth and space. So we have here the earth central activities. So we could be able to give or have the 5E's teaching model in a different ways. We have here the introductory PowerPoint. Okay. We also have the GPS practice, the solar challenge, making geological maps, curriculum work, or even the online forum interactions with our learners with respect to the earth and space contents. Okay, so these or those are the 5 E's model in teaching science. So the 7 E's of the learning cycle, the 7 E's of the learning cycle, it was developed and emphasized by Arthur Eisencraft, and it was this one is taken from the Science Teacher 2003, the National Association of Science Teachers, where no it expand the 5 E's model. So the engage part, naging dalawa na po ito, elicit and engage. Then explore, explore, still, explain, explain, then elaborate, elaborate, evaluate, then extend. So the evaluate part also no jive in this particular phase on the 7 E's. So let's take a look on the different phases given by the 7 E's model. So the elicit phase, now as the teacher, you need to know what knowledge students have. So it pertains with the prior knowledge. So it is very important, or it's a key or a vital role in transferring learning to our students. So the students construct knowledge from existing knowledge, identify and clear up any misconception. So this one is somehow be evident, or can be evident rather, in a formative assessment. Then the elicit phase, the teachers introduce topic or a given task, then activate prior learning. So we have the high order thinking skills of our learners, and we set the stage for your transition into the engage phase. So basically, yung ating pong 5 E's and 7 E's model ay makikita natin na may continuity of the transfer of learning natin from one phase to another phase. So ano po yung pwedeng magawa natin? We could read a paragraph for them, show a video clip to continue igniting the critical thinking skills of our learners. We could give them a diagram or a picture, present them with a problem, or even a class demonstration. So our key here, our method would be teacher questioning. And then on the engage phase, so this is where the need for the learners to capture their attention, right? So this is the hook part. So you try to connect the concepts to their everyday lives. Why do they need the students to study it or to know about that concept? And then sa part or engage phase, we could have a virtual experiment, no, since we are dealing with the pandemic situation, or even when we had the face-to-face, we could have the group activity, okay, assigned to them. We could have a differentiated type of activities assigned to group one, different to group two, three, and four, related to the topic or to your discussion. So, what do you think about this? What do you know? What do you want to know? What would you like to do now, in this phase, the engage phase? On explore phase, now, it gives a student a chance to investigate by the following skills: observation, no, let them analyze, let them hypothesize, they construct ideas, and organize their idea. So it could be accomplished through the teacher demonstration method, or the art of questioning of the teacher, reading activities, or even through internet searches. On the explain phase, this is the traditional one. We are now in the conceptualization process. We are giving guide questions to the learners, following to the explore phase, to the activity that they've had, wherein the concepts and new terminology are presented to them. So the teacher assesses this phase of learning usually through teacher questioning or a scaffolding activity. And then on the elaborate phase, this is where the students apply their new knowledge. Since we are dealing, or we have this goal where the students apply the concepts they have learned into real world situation. Right? So the knowledge must be extended into new situations. So this could be accomplished through compare and contrast activities, or even hypothetical situations which are not identical. And this is the distance transfer of learning. So on the evaluate phase, it includes both the formative and the summative assessment. So formative assessments generally should be used on all phases of the cycle. So evaluation can have the questions related to the aspects learned through the process, or even information gathered from the elaborate and extend phase should be used as part of the evaluation, and that is the assessment. An extend phase is the continuation of the elaborate. We are applying, or we let the learners apply the knowledge they've learned to new and different situations. So is this model for you? Will this model be useful in your content area? So I mean, this 5E's and 7E's teaching of model is somehow one of the teaching models that we currently used in teaching science. So there, thank you very much and good afternoon po.
Wow, thank you. Ang galing naman ng ating speaker ngayon, si Ma'am Cherry Rodriguez. Okay, any comment about that po? Maybe I will be the first to comment about the topic, ma'am, if it's okay with you.
Go ahead po,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Okay, the topic that was discussed is 5E's and 7E. So I'm just giving my impression about the 5E's and 7E's. So if we will going back to the discussion, we will see that there is only an specification in every part of the lesson plan. Like in the 5E's, there is only engage. If I'm not mistaken, engage, and later on they add elicit, and in order
Yes, sir.
to elicit the knowledge of the student. But actually, they have the same purpose, and that is to deliver the lesson effectively. But the question is, whatever the method we will going to use, whatever template we're going to apply in our lesson plan, but the teacher factor, we must also consider the teacher factor in delivering the lesson plan, because there is sometimes the attitude or the mood of the teacher is not appropriate to the discussion that the teacher will going to do. For example, there is something in circumstances that we can never disregard, but we must focus also the teacher factor.
So actually sa 5 is hindi ko pa talaga yan siya nagamit kasi from the traditional na paggamit ng paggagawa ng lesson plan yung tinuturo sa amin when I was in college yung may ano yung proper ay ano yung una nakalimutan ko na Basta yung ganun lang siya, discussion, activity, generalization, evaluation, assignment. So yun, di ba? Yun yung parang original or the old model of making a lesson plan. So then when I started teaching in-depth ed, so not our division but our EPS in science encourage us to use the 7E's. So hindi ko pa talaga na-try gamitin ang 7E's kasi diretso na ako sa from the traditional na paggawa ng lesson plan to 7 is na. So, maganda talaga ang 7 is actually. Nice, maganda siya gamitin lalo na sa klase kasi may ano kasi every step. So, na i-ensure mo na yung learning ng bata is a by step kasi from the elicit part which is you able to gauge their prior knowledge, test na i-connect mo from kung ano yung prior knowledge doon sa lesson mo, di ba? Then, to engage, kailangan mo sila para motivation din, di ba? Para ma-motivate sila with your lesson. So, kailangan mo sila i-engage kung ano ba yung lesson mo all about. Then, to the explore part, which is yung activity ng lesson mo. Then, to explain, which is after ng activity, kailangan doon sa explain naman is they're going to present their outputs or to present their ideas or what they learned about the activity, which is yung activity naman is leading doon kung ano yung topic mo, 'di ba? Then yung elaborate is yung connection ng yung topic sa real world situation or in real life situation. So yun yung pagkakaintindi ko sa elaborate, no, that the students must be able to connect yung learning nila sa lesson mo sa real life applications. Then after that, if and also para mas maano yung higher order thinking skills nila. Then after that, doon sa ano na naman evaluate, then extend. So, pero yung sa 7 is kasi hindi talaga siya pwede, no? Hindi siya pwede na tapusin mo within 1 hour ng lesson. Yun lang talaga yung ano niya. Kasi even nga sa demo ko, pag gumagamit ako ng 7 is, hindi talaga assurance na matatapos siya within 1 hour.
For my impression, the 7A's help us to systematize the delivery of our lesson. And also, we can formulate the activity that suit to every step in 7A, the 7E's, and we can easily assess our student interest in our lesson. And by that, we teachers, we can immediately adjust the way we teach or the way we deliver and the strategy that we're going to use that needs to do to catch the attention and to make sure the learning of our students. That's all. Thank you.
So for me, my impression for these models, the 5 is and 7 is from the traditional way of making a lesson plan or delivering a lesson. For me, it is very useful that it became more specific, just like what Sir Oriel tackled a while ago, that every part of the lesson is given emphasis, and from those parts, from the illicit part up to the extend, it stimulates students to remember, especially on the illicit part, to remember. It stimulates the students to remember their science concepts that they have learned before, and it also motivates them to become more effective and increase their curiosity.
So during my first classroom observation po, the first namin is the Google Jamboard, this one, the clash of girls and boys, the illicit part, now their prior knowledge from yung difference between continental and oceanic crust, and then also no with the terminologies, the difficult words, that they will encounter during the discussion. And then the exploratory or the explore phase, the virtual session is ayan, this one. No, they have the breakout session at may hands-on sila na isang leader, and then the other one is no presenter, then secretary, and other tasks assigned to them. So, meron po sila lahat trabaho. So, at home, may nagmo-mold para dun sa different types of plate boundaries assigned to their group. So, may mga differentiated type of activities. And the elaborate part is the oceanic and the, this one, the subduction process. So, since under ng plate boundaries, we also deal with the the continental and the oceanic. So, this one is what will happen, no? Aside from the continental to continental, what will happen when the oceanic collided with continental? What geologic formation will be the result out of this type of collision? So somehow, dun ko siya naipakita yung elaborate that will be discussed thoroughly in the next meeting. And then, real world situation, I had this student had their vacation, their stay in Rizal, and then somehow she made the vlog, the e-vlog or the no, the e-tour of the Tanay Rizal, and then showing the beautiful scenery of Sierra Madre. So also including the importance of the ecosystem, the biodiversity, having or manifested in the certain province on their region, kasi doon po siya nag-i-stay. So doon ko talaga nilagay yung real world situation